is I'll say, the proposal sometimes gets pretty, there gets pretty big, and there's a lot of information here you might not understand. So what I do is I like to show it on my screen and walk you through it, just so that you understand everything that's here. And so, normally they're okay with that.
I've been having problems doing that, and I'm not sure how to overcome their objections, because usually they're like, oh, like, send me they're like, oh, send me the quote, like send me more information. And then I guess like I'm not really sure what to say, because it seems like a reasonable request. So like I email them and it's like, hey, just following up. Here's the link to the calendar, like, to see like when we can schedule. And like they don't get back to me, or like because like we're not supposed to like send them the whole proposal, right? Like
send the proposal at all. No, you're supposed to schedule a deep dive. I mean, so during the deep dive, you're supposed to be scheduling your closing call. So basically say, hey, great, got all this, information. Would love to put you together a proposal and go over it. It's going to take me 2 to 3 days to put this all together. And when's a good time for us to jump back on the call? Right. So you should be booking it right then and there.
But then they're like, oh, I'm busy, or like just email me or something. Like,
so how am I supposed to do that? How am I supposed to have an opportunity to go over and explain everything to you just by email? Right. So like this is your process. So you're not like, I'm putting together a proposal to go over to you with like what the next steps would be in us getting started, right? So putting that proposal together and everything else. So you just got to ask them for the appointment, right? So what do you think you're missing something potentially in the deep dive, to where like they're not interested, or you're not leading them, letting them know like what the next steps are? Or you say, okay, the next steps are, I'm just going to put together a proposal. Is that like, how are you trying to close them out for the next appointment?
Like I'm trying to get them, I'm telling them that like I get all the information to put together for the proposal, and then they're like, oh, email me. And I'm like, well, when's a good time? Like, when's a good time to go over? And they're like, oh, I'm really busy. Just email me, just email me the numbers, just email me the info.
I mean, so I would turn around and put a no-orientated question, on that. It sounds like maybe you're too busy to take business. Is this something that you really want to do, or are you just trying to be nice? Right, because they could just be like, yeah, like sounds great, but like I'm really not interested. But yeah, just go ahead and send me over your proposal. Right. So Jonathan, what are some of the things that you do in this situation? How do you move into the next step?
So what I'll do is I'll say, the proposal sometimes gets pretty, there gets pretty big, and there's a lot of information here you might not understand. So what I do is I like to show it on my screen and walk you through it, just so that you understand everything that's here. And so, normally they're okay with that. I don't usually have many objections when I explained it that way, because I can send them I could send you the proposal, but you won't understand half of what it is. So, that's how I usually do it. And I usually am okay that, they understand you have a process. They have a process for everything they do. So, I mean, as long as you stick with your process, you should be fine.
So, but then what if they're like, oh, just email me a time, email me to schedule, because like I'm busy. And then I send them an email and like, hey, when would you like to meet? And then,
like I said, it sounds like it's a no. It sounds like you may be too busy to take business, and you're just trying to be nice. But this proposal is going to take me a few hours to put together, and I've got a lot of clients that I'm dealing with. So if this isn't something that you really can see yourself moving forward with, like, I'm totally cool with that.
Oh, I see. Right? Okay.
Honestly, you should know how long it's going to take you and get it and come up with the number right there, because time kills deals. And if you email the next day, 2 days later, and then they don't get back to you for a day or two, they've lost all the excitement for what you've already told them. So honestly, if you think you can get the deal done in a day, just say, hey, I'll tomorrow at 5, let's get it done. And
Yeah,
if
just give them the
say
time.
they're busy, just be like, okay, what about 7? Just work with that like that way, but just give them a time so that they can kind of work around it.
Okay. Oh, I see. So let's suggest a time. Okay, because I'm
Yeah.
like, when are you free? And then they're like, I'm always busy.
So like if this proposal has, everything that you want in it, like what would the next steps be for you? Right?
Okay.
So like what happens next? So after I send you a proposal, what happens next?
Oh.
Right? Like you try to pull the no out of them. Like if it's not something that they're like too busy, like just call it out. Sounds like you're probably too busy to take on business. But I'm not a pizza shop. I just don't send out price lists. I'm a consultant. I'm a professional. This is what I do. I like to go over and make sure that my client understands everything that's going on there, just like you would. What kind of